got here, and I apologise if I sound like shit. It's because I feel a bit like shit. I've got the cold. I think it's the third time in the last 3 weeks, so bear with me. Might be a bit of coughing, snivelling and sneezing, but I'll try not to. And I'm going to crack on with a CD update. I've got some CDs, obviously. I've got a picture disc to show you and a book as well, so I'm going to get straight to it. The first two are from a band I showed in my last update. Swedish hard rock, sleaze rock band, and I said I was getting these CDs in, and they finally arrived. And the first one is Crash Diet. This is their debut album from 2005 called Rest in Sleaze. Really, really solid band. They've not released much since 2013, I think. I believe they're still going, but it has been a while since they've released any material. But I would definitely suggest checking out this album. This is an awesome debut album if you're into Rat, Motley Crue, that kind of stuff, Twisted Sister. This is like a modern version of that. This was their debut, and it's with their lead singer Dave Leppard, who actually died after the making of this album. If you want to give them a shot, check out a song called Breaking the Chains. That'll kind of give you an idea of what they sound like. So that is Crash Diet's debut, Rest in Sleaze. Next up is their third release out of 4. This is from 2010 and it's called Generation Wild. Sorry about the glare. This is the album that really kind of got me into Crash Diet. I found these guys on YouTube and I was looking for just this kind of music, kind of hair metal but modern bands, and I actually listened to the song Generation Wild and Armageddon off this album and thought it was absolutely amazing. So I've been a big fan of these guys for a good 4 or 5 years now. Their CDs are creeping up on eBay now for a pretty good price, so definitely worth checking out. They've been quite scarce in the last few years, so happy they're finally popping up on eBay. Next up is from Vince Neil, and it's his solo album Exposed from 1993. This was the album he made after he left stroke got fired from Motley Crue. I would say definitely the album Motley Crue fans would have wanted from Motley Crue after Dr. Feelgood. This is much more Motley Crue than Motley Crue's 94 album released with John Corabi. I think die-hard Crue fans anyway would have been happier with this album. This is really, really good. This kind of gets passed over a wee bit, but it is a really good, solid album with just crunching guitars. As you can see here, you've got Steve Stevens, who did session music with Billy Idol and Michael Jackson on his 1987 Bad album. Just an amazing guitarist, and it really shows on this album as well. I think he was the main songwriter on this album, and it is completely guitar driven, but really worth checking out if you're into Motley Crue, because this is, like I said, what should have followed Dr. Feelgood. So that's Vince Neil, Exposed from 1993. Next up is a bit of Anthrax, and I'm going to be honest, I've not even heard this yet, but I saw it on eBay and it was £2.83 posted to my door, so I just grabbed it. As you might have seen in my last few updates, I have been picking up some Anthrax, but I'm slowly but surely getting there with Anthrax. I've just kind of started getting into them, so picked this up, and this will be getting a spin very shortly. So that's Anthrax and Persistence of Time. Next up is a CD I've seen a lot recently in the VC, and it's Skid Row's Sorry. Skid Row's Beside Ourselves. 5-track EP from 1992, I think it is. Yeah, 1992. As you can see, it's a track listing on the back. Well, you can't really see that, but and CD in there. So yeah, again, picked that up really cheap, so good to add that to the collection. Next band, 2 CDs to show, and this is a band I used to really actually hate, and I've really just in the last maybe year started to give them a chance, and I actually do quite like them. I first picked up their greatest hits, and I just thought, nah, this isn't for me. It's a bit cheesy, but I must be immaturing with age, because I'm actually quite enjoying it now. And it's Warrant and Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich. I don't know why, I just always kind of saw Warrant were kind of one of those cookie cutter bands that tried a bit too hard, were just jumping on the bandwagon, just doing what everybody else was doing, but they have made it some actually pretty good tracks. On this you've got the Down Boys, and I think the other hit was Heaven. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as good as Skid Row or Cinderella or Motley Crue, but it's, for me, I'd say still worth having, so that's Warrant. And the next one, you can guess what it's going to be. It's Cherry Pie from 1990. I've heard a few stories about this album. I've actually saw a video with Janie Lane just saying how much he hated the song Cherry Pie. He was like, I think his words were, he's now the Cherry Pie guy. I think he's passed away now, right enough, but it was the story of him going into the record label, and they had the Warrant poster up, and they went away, wrote the album, they came back, and the Warrant poster was gone, and it was a big Alice in Chains poster, so he kind of thought, I think we could be getting pushed out here, and ultimately they did. But that's Warrant Cherry Pie anyway. The next few are albums that I've been looking for a while, and I've just never seen them for like under £17, because people think they can get away with charging that because these albums aren't really easy to get. I don't know why people try that, because nobody's going to pay 17 quid, but well, maybe 1 out of 20, but I wasn't. So these are all kind of came up at the same time, and I thought, okay, I'll jump on that. So first one is the debut from LA Guns from 1988. You've probably all heard of this album. Really good stuff. Obviously a lot like Guns N' Roses, even musical style and fashion wise as well. I'll just take this CD out just now. As you can see, that's very Guns N' Roses looking, but as you can imagine they will be quite similar. And the worst thing about this is when I got it, I opened the CD up. Well, I opened the box up, and all I could hear is this. And I was like, God, it's broken. And then opened it up, CD fell out. I should have really have anticipated that. And every single plastic holder in the centre ring was broken. So I basically had to tip it upside down and tip all the fucking plastic out. But anyway, happy to have that CD anyway. Next up is a CD I've not seen on eBay. And like I said, for some reason these CDs were just popping up all over the shop. And it's Lizzie Borden and Visual Lies. Very happy to pick this up. This is a great album. This is from 1987, is it? 1987, on Metal Blade. And this is just a fantastic album. I would, if you're into your hair metal, 80s hard rock, this is a must-have. So that's Lizzie Borden and Visual Lies. Next up is from Skid Row, and it's not classic Skid Row. and it's Thick Skin with singer Johnny Solinger. Like I said, you wouldn't go to this if you wanted classic Skid Row. This is a good album, don't get me wrong, but this is not the Skid Row you'd want to hear. That's for the debut and Slave to the Grind. This is along the lines for me like Motley Crue's '94 album. Good album, but they shouldn't have gone with the band name because it's not what you expect when you listen to it. Obviously, Johnny Solinger's voice is completely different from Sebastian Bach. Sebastian Bach's got an absolutely awesome voice, in my opinion. So, straight off the bat, doesn't sound like Skid Row. I mean, the tunes are good, but it's not a Skid Row album. It just sounds very different, but still a good album. So that's from 2003. The next one is a CD, well, an album I've never seen being shown in the VC, and this band, this band's debut album gets talked about a lot. It's quite classic in the kind of hair metal, hard rock era. But their second album, this one, I've never seen getting shown. And I'd say it's just as good as the first. And it's Slaughter and The Wildlife. Absolutely brilliant album. I know people talk about the debut. It has the songs Fly to the Angels and Desperately, Spending My Life. What was the other one? Up All Night. But this is just as good. But the thing that goes against this is when it came out. I think this was released in 1992. So this would have got completely overlooked probably. After, you know, grunge and all that hit, this would have fallen by the wayside. But this is definitely an album, if you've not heard it, it's worth checking out. So that's Slaughter and The Wildlife. Next up is some Wasp, and this is one of those CDs that I always see on eBay, and it's like £15, and I'm like, well, it's not worth £15. Finally came up, and it was like a £5, so picked this up, and it's Dying for the World, which I think is a really, really great album. The first two songs I heard on this, I think when I just used to download music track by track, it was Shadow Man and Hallowed Ground, which is a phenomenal song. Blackie Lawless has this talent for writing hard rock ballads. He must have this kind of template, because it's funny because some of them do sound the same but also sound completely different. I don't know how he does it, but when he writes a ballad, it really grips me. When other people write a ballad, like say White Lion or White Snake, it's just like, okay, right, that's the ballad on the album, but I always look forward to the ballad on a Wasp album. It's just really, really great stuff. Very catchy and just gets stuck in your head. It's just great. And he's always been good at that from the first album. So this is from 2002, and this was kind of, I think this was dedicated to everyone affected by 9/11. I think that's the concept kind of behind it, especially you hear the lyrics on Hallowed Ground. You do get that kind of feeling of dedication. So, great album, Dying for the World, Wasp. And the last one, this was the gem, because I've been looking for this album either on vinyl, it's expensive, on CD, it's expensive, or nowhere to be seen. And I picked this up for, pennies. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, why has nobody bought this? So I was like, it was almost like I had that 5 seconds to buy it before somebody else did, as if somebody was just waiting for somebody else to go, I'm going to buy that, and then buy it in front of me. And it's Dangerous Toys, self-titled, from 1989. Really, really great album, and I'm so happy this has come through the door. Really, like, I think they're from Texas, so it's like it's got that kind of southern bluesy hard rock about it, and this album just works. Every song you're just like, that is good. The bass work in this is just phenomenal as well. You just got that really bluesy, kind of earthy sound to it, and it's really, really decent. If you've not heard this album, I suggest you check it out. What's the one I was listening to earlier? It was brilliant. Bones in the Gutter. That is a superb song. So yeah, that is sliding off my table. That's Dangerous Toys. I think the singles off this were Teasing, Pleasing and Scared. But yeah, I'd love to pick this up on vinyl. So, but happy enough to have it on CD for now. So that's that. So that's the CDs done. I did pick up a picture disc. I think this was released 2015 on Record Store Day. And it's a wee 7-inch Motley Crue. This was kind of on the back of their final tour. And again, I want to pick this up just because I collect Motley Crue picture discs and memorabilia and stuff. But I mean, it was going for like 30 quid. And I'm like, I mean, I actually saw it for £72 from someone, and I was like, what medication are you on? Or off? So, yeah, quite a cool wee picture disc there, just with the logo. It has side A has Kickstart My Heart, and side B has Home Sweet Home. That's it. So like I say, it's nothing special, but I always pick up Motley Crue stuff, so I thought it was pretty cool. So that was that one. And last but not least, my mum righted her wrong. As you might have seen in one of my updates, she did buy me this for my Christmas. I asked her, she said, do you want Bruce Dickinson's autobiography for your Christmas? And I went, yeah, I'd love to read that. But she kind of picked this up by mistake. And she said to me on Christmas Day, is that the one you wanted? I was like, that's kind of what I wanted, but not the exact one. So I was at hers the other day, and she said, I've got a wee present for you. And finally got Bruce Dickinson's latest book release, What Does This Button Do? So, not read any of this yet, but it is the hardback, and I really just can't wait to read this. So that is my book pickup for the week. So that is that. So again, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers, old and new, and I will see you guys in my next video. Cheers.